Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're looking at a really detailed guide someone sent in about Shenzhen, that huge city right next to Hong Kong that sometimes gets a bit overlooked.
Exactly. It's massive. And this guide aims to sort of demystify it, break it down district by district.
Yeah, so our goal today is pretty straightforward. Give everyone a clear picture of Shenzhen's different areas, what makes each one tick.
Right. The guide splits it into inner and outer districts, points out landmarks, talks MTR, the subway system, and importantly, that connection with Hong Kong, like how to cross the border.
So we want to equip you with a practical feel for the city's geography. Whether you're thinking of visiting, maybe even living there, or you're just, curious about this major Chinese powerhouse.
It's a fascinating place. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's start with those inner districts. The guide lists four: Fushun, Luohu, Nanshan, and Shekou. Says these are the most dynamic, most comfortable areas, especially for expats. Lots of international schools there, too.
Yeah, definitely the core of the action. The guide even recommends keeping a metro map handy, which is solid advice anywhere in Shenzhen, but especially downtown.
Good tip. So, first up, Fushun, the Central Business District, or CBD, sounds pretty central, bordered by OCT Overseas Chinese Town, that artsy park, area mountains, and Lizzie Park.
That's right. Fusion is all about the skyscrapers, government buildings, big banks. It's very much the financial heart. Plus, crucial point, the high-speed rail station connecting to Hong Kong is right there.
But it's not just concrete, right? The guide mentions green spaces. Leon Washam Park?
Yeah, famous for kite flying, apparently even breakdancing sometimes. And Central Park, which sounds like a proper lush escape.
Nice. And commercially, Convention and Exhibition Center, Central Walk, Link City, those underground shops, and Huakang Road for electronics. That's the famous one, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Huakang North, specifically. Massive electronics wholesale market. And then there's Coco Park for nightlife, though the guide notes it's under renovation. Still, it's known for having a dense cluster of bars.
So the vibe is professional, kind of mirroring Hong Kong Central District, key MTR stops, Civic Center, shopping park for Coco Park, Huakang North.
And Zhejiang, a big transfer hub, also has some nightlife. Fusion feels very modern, very purpose-built compared to, say, Hong Kong Central, which has more historical layers.
Interesting point. Okay, moving east then to Luohu. The guide calls this one older, more historic, more street shopping, traditional Chinese atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely a different feel from Fusion. It's bordered by Lizzie Park and hills, even Wutan Mountain. It has more of an underground vibe, the guide says. Fewer foreigners, maybe, fewer international schools.
Key spots: Dongmen Plaza for street food and fashion.
Right, lots of youth fashion there. And Commercial City, right near the Hong Kong border crossing, famous for, well, counterfeit goods. The guide stresses, bargain hard.
Haha, noted. But there's high-end stuff too, McSee and KK Mall.
Yep, luxury shopping right there as well. Lu used to be known for, like, experimental underground events, too. Historically, Hong Kongers popped over for electronics or spa days, though maybe less so now.
Got it. Key MTR stops here are Laoji for Dongmen, Luohu itself for the border crossing and trains, Grand Theater for the malls.
And Shuibei, apparently known for huge jewelry plazas.
Okay, next, Nanshan. Big district covering the west, known for greenery and being more modern, maybe more planned out. Borders Bowen up north and OCT to the east.
Nanshan is huge.
Yeah.
It's got Window of the World, the theme park with miniature landmarks, High-Tech Park, which is a massive area with offices, apartments, another mixie mall. Then Huhai, which is super modern, quite luxurious, Shenzhen Bay Park, right by the water.
And OCT is technically in Nanshan too, the arts district, plus Shenzhen University. Sounds quite family-friendly, but also a hotspot for young tech workers, like a Silicon Valley vibe near Tencent.
Definitely got that feel in some parts. Lots of tech money there. You can even bike along the coast from OCT down toward Shekou. Also important.
Yeah.
Hong Kong University Hospital is there, and a major bus terminal connecting to Hong Kong.
Key MTR stops, Huhai seems central, Window of the World, High-Tech Park.
OCT, Nanshan Book Mall too. Nanshan feels like it balances development with green space really well.
Right. And that brings us to Shekou, the last inner district. It's actually the southern part of Nanshan, but feels distinct. Known for its international community.
Very distinct. It has a history of Western investment, so English proficiency is higher, lots of imported groceries, many international schools. Gongyi 8 Road is roughly the northern border.
The heart seems to be SeaWorld. Not the animal park, but an outdoor plaza.
Exactly. Restaurants, bars, museums, all centered around this big ship permanently docked there. There's Gateway 1 Mall, the Hilton, and you can walk along the waterfront.
Nightlife is second only to Coco Park. More relaxed, expat vibe, live music, beer pong.
Yeah, that's the scene. Other
Yeah.
landmarks, the new ferry terminal to Hong Kong, Macau, Zhuhai, the waterfront near the big bridge to Hong Kong, Dan and Mountain for hiking.
And a hip spot called G&G Converted Warehouse Complex.
Yeah, co-working, cafes, events. But Shekou's interesting because you have these modern areas right next to older alleyways with cheap noodle shops and scooter repair places. It's still very much China, despite the international vibe. SeaWorld is the main MTR stop. Wangxia and Nanyu serve residential areas.
So summing up the inner districts, reliable, generally high-end, well-connected, easy to get around downtown.
Pretty much. Lots of breweries, co-working spaces, rooftop pools, the main tourist sites.
Okay, let's shift gears to the outer districts. Baonan, Longhua, and Longgang. Separated from downtown by mountains, the guide uses the word rustic, but notes nicer areas are developing further north with new MTR lines.
Yeah, rustic might not be the most appealing term, but they definitely have a different character. Further out, less developed in parts.
Shaowen first. The airport district, obviously, because of Shenzhen Baoan International Airport, its reputation is changing, maybe becoming a poor man's Nanshan.
Maybe. The southern end, near Nanshan, is definitely getting nicer. Uniwalk, apparently the largest mall, big plazas, new parks, coastal walks. They built a Ferris wheel, art centers.
But the northern parts.
More rural. Still retain some of that feel, yeah. Hills, farmland, villages. It was integrated later. Slower pace, maybe more community focus. There's hiking at Fenghuang Forest Park. But new MTR lines are bringing development north, too. Key stops, Bowen Center, Yuan near the waterfront, Fuyang for the mountain park.
Gotcha. Then Longhua and the guide lumps in Bantian here. Northern district, kind of arid feel, used to be mostly factories.
Yeah, lots of
It's
construction trying to improve its image. Key landmarks are Huawei headquarters, massive campus, and Shenzhen North Railway Station, the main high-speed rail hub. Also Mission Hills way up north, very wealthy area, golf courses, Hard Rock Hotel.
Sounds like a mix, apparent factory culture, but also grassroots businesses, maybe more economical living.
Definitely. You find expat events there too, often drawn by lower costs. Locals are generally friendly. It's well connected by the metro, especially the Red Line running north-south. Minzi, Huawei, Mission Hills, and Shenzhen North are key MTR spots.
Okay, last outer district. Longgang, northeast. Perceived as really far, like an hour from downtown, but huge population, 5 million people.
Yeah, it's vast. Almost a self-sustaining mini city because the terrain kind of isolates it. It's surrounded by nature, gives access to the eastern beaches.
Popular spots, a new Mixia Mall by the Universiad Stadium, Wenca Plaza, Alien near the universities.
Longqing Square is the administrative center, nice park there. Longgang Cultural Center. And the Shenzhen branch of the Chinese University of Hong Kong is out there.
So who lives there? The guide says many wealthy residents seeking space, family environment, feels modern, wide roads.
It does. Lots of government resources poured in. It used to be more industrial, especially further out like Pingshan, which still produces a lot of tech. Nightlife is maybe inconsistent, but there's a decent expat community. Key MTR, Longcheng Square, Universiade Center, Buji.
Right. Now, that connection to Hong Kong, it's getting closer, right? Transport, politics.
Definitely. Hong Kong is even building up its northern areas to make access to Shenzhen easier. People live on one side and work on the other both ways.
So for anyone moving there, understanding this link is vital. And practically, efficient border crossing is key. The guide mentions getting a fast pass.
Essential, really, because legally they're separate territories. Double immigration, double customs. Standard lines can take ages, 30 minutes plus each side sometimes.
So you need passes for both sides. How does that work?
For the Shenzhen E-Channel, you generally need to be a qualified full-time worker with a resident permit sticker in your passport. You go to an office. Fusion Checkpoint has one. Nanshan Bus Terminal 2, show documents, get photo and fingerprints taken. They put an RFID chip in your passport for the E-Channel gates. Still got X-ray bags, though.
Okay. And the Hong Kong Fast Pass.
For that one, you usually need to have entered Hong Kong via the airport at least 3 times in the past year. Save those little white immigration slips that apply either at the admin building in Wan Chai or at the airport itself. They check documents and stick a barcode on your passport, valid until the passport expires.
Seems like a bit of hassle up front, but worth it. Now, how to actually cross. The guide lists a few ways. MTR checkpoints.
Most familiar, probably. Fusion Checkpoint for business folks. Luohu for shopping. Wongang Checkpoint is 24 hours, but maybe harder to get to. Downside is a long MTR ride through Hong Kong's new territories.
And the bus from Shekou, using the Shenzhen Bay checkpoint, goes direct to downtown HK.
Yeah, you buy tickets there, Can be a bit chaotic, outdoor waiting, maybe unofficial touts, but it's a straight shot to HK Island, which is good. Taking a taxi from the HK side of that border is faster, maybe $25.
Okay. High-speed rail. Sounds professional.
It is. Buy tickets on an app. Fusion Station's easy. Shenzhen North can be hectic, so allow extra time. The ride itself is super fast, like 15 minutes, but factor in getting to the station and waiting. Unique thing. Immigration for both sides happens at the Kowloon West Station in Hong Kong, inside the Elements Mall.
Ah, interesting. And finally, the Shekou Ferry Terminal.
Mainly useful if you're going directly to Hong Kong Airport. They have streamlined check-in, even handle your luggage straight through. There are ferries to other HK ports, but probably not the most practical way to get downtown. Great for the airport, Macau, or Zhuhai, though.
Wow, okay. Lots of options. So wrapping up this deep dive on Shenzhen's districts, it's clear that getting a handle on the city's layout and its deep ties with Hong Kong is pretty essential.
Absolutely. It's a dynamic region full of opportunities and contrasts. Understand the geography, the vibe of each district, the border practicalities. That's the starting point.
It really makes you think, what specific blend of city life and culture might click best for you in Shenzhen?